guys, Kool-Aid here, and today we are going to continue on with our advanced infiltration series. Today's topic is going to be escape maneuvers or escape tactics, and we are going to not only talk about how to get out of a bad situation, but we're going to talk about how to use your infiltrator abilities to actually turn that bad situation into a positive and actually take the upper hand against your enemy. So before we do that, we need to learn exactly how to get out of a fight. Well, it's always going to be different in every situation, depending on what loadout you're using, how many enemies are actually in the area, if you have friendlies in the area that you can retreat to, how much cover's around. Everything with your surroundings is going to help or hurt you in your escape. One thing you can always count on as an infiltrator is that ability to cloak. Now, you might not have a lot of time left on your cloak. You might have just used most of your charge up. However, the ability is always going to be there, even if it's for a short period of time. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you get into a bad situation is cloak. No matter what settings your enemy is playing on, medium, low, high, it doesn't matter. A cloak target is going to be harder to hit than a non-cloak target. The next thing you're going to want to do is try to find some sort of cover. You want to put something in between you and the person that's shooting at you, whether it's just temporary or whether or not that's where you're going to make your stand. Even though I said it's harder to hit a cloaked target, chances are you're still going to catch a few rounds unless you do actually put some sort of cover in between you and your enemy. Once you find that cover, that's where the situation's really going to dictate what you do next. If there's no immediate threat and you are at low health, low shields, that's what you're probably going to want to pop out of cloak immediately and use a health pack if you have one. If you are at good health, good shield, then that's where you might want to take a stand and maybe use some maneuvers that we will talk about in a little bit. Now, if you are at really bad health, really bad shield, and maybe you don't have any health packs to use, then more than likely you're going to want to kind of just try to use a hide technique, maybe sit in the corner, get down into a crouch, and you don't want to come out of your cloak until you know your shield is going to start regenerating. That way you'll at least have some sort of health to get you to where you need to go or maybe get that next kill. Now, if there is no cover or anything you can retreat to, your best bet is probably just to run as fast as possible while cloaked. Try not to run in a straight line. Try to, make zigzag patterns or jump around and act like a fool. Similar to if you were being shot at by a sniper, you might be a little more visible while cloaked, while running around sporadically like that, but trust me, you're going to be a much harder target to hit. And if you are being shot at, that means that he is going to be going slower to you, and that's going to allow you to create distance, hopefully give you enough time to actually find some cover or find, a group of friends to retreat to. So now that we have the basics down on how to escape, we can start talking about some maneuvers to use while escaping to put the fight back into your advantage. The first one is simple. It's basically just circling around a form of cover to get behind your enemy and flank them. The whole key to this is that you do not stop moving or don't hesitate. While they are shooting you and while they are chasing you around cover, they're almost always going to be slower than you, and they're almost always going to be a little bit cautious when they round that cover. So if you just always keep moving as fast as possible, that will give you time to actually get behind your enemy and get an easy flank kill. The next maneuver I like to call the rope-a-dope, and what we're going to do for this is kind of fake our enemy out and pretend like we're just retreating to cover, but once we get behind that cover, we're going to instantly pop back out and start shooting back. The whole point is to catch them off guard and hopefully catch them in a reload or maybe a sprint. Most enemies that are following you around cover do not expect you to instantly pop back out. Now, if you are at low health, low shield, I might not recommend this one as much. It's a little bit more riskier, but more often than not, you will get an easy kill out of this. So those are the maneuvers that I use most frequently and that you can really use with any loadout. The next one I want to talk about does require anti-personnel mines, and it is quite simple, quite basic, something I used to do a lot more before I started using med packs so frequently. But basically all this is going to require you to do is run around cover again, or run around a corner, whatever, and throw down that anti-personnel mine. Obviously if you're TR, you're going to want to face the claymore in the direction that the enemy is going to be coming from, but this will net a lot of really easy kills. Just make sure you're not standing directly on the claymore, and just for to be extra safe, once you throw that down, keep moving and try to maybe find some other cover. You don't want to rely solely on that anti-personnel mine going off for your kill. You want to have a kind of a fail-safe secondary plan in case he does avoid it. The last maneuver I'm going to talk about is probably the easiest, but people are often too scared to actually do this. And what we're going to do is just duck behind cover, get into a nice little spot, crouch, and stealth. The whole key is to stay as perfectly still as possible. No matter what settings anybody is playing on, it is near impossible to see a crouched stealth infiltrator or cloaked infiltrator that is staying perfectly still. It just is. They're somewhat like 95% invisible at that point. And what we're going to do is just wait there until they come running around. They're going to see that nobody's there. They're either going to keep running off or they're going to turn around and run back to where they came from. At that point, that's when you will pop out of cloak and just simply shoot them in the back. It usually results in a very easy kill. So to summarize this and wrap this up, even the best infiltrators out there are going to get caught in bad situations. But we do have one of the best abilities in cloaking to actually get out of that. The main point of this video is just to show you guys that cloak alone is not usually going to do it. You want to use it in conjunction with all your terrain, your surroundings, your equipment, your other teammates, everything available to you. And if you can do that, that's when you'll get really good at getting out of those bad situations. So anyways, guys, that's all I have for today. If you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I will talk to you all later.